We're going to talk about something really interesting, how technology is tackling this huge, modern problem for some of our oldest institutions. I mean, how do you actually build a real community when everyone's connecting through a screen? We're going to look at a platform that's trying to do just that, to flip the switch from just passively watching something to actively being a part of it.
Okay, so let's just start with the big question that this whole thing is built around. Is watching church online, well, is it just watching? Does that screen that connects all of us also have to be this wall that keeps us apart? Or could it actually be a bridge to something, deeper?
So the whole idea here is a pretty fundamental shift in thinking. It's all about moving away from that old model, the one-way broadcast. It's like a lecture, right? Information just flows out to you, the passive viewer. Instead, the goal is to create a two-way conversation, where suddenly everyone gets to be an active participant.
All right, so how does that shift actually happen in practice? Well, it all starts by realizing that a really great online service it's so much more than just a good video player. It's about intentionally building this interactive experience that brings in a whole ecosystem of people.
And what I think is so fascinating here is how they've recognized that the audience isn't just one big blob of people. Nope. This platform is actually built for 4 totally different groups, and each one has a specific role to play. For the church leaders, it's all about tracking data and impact. For the ministry teams on the ground, it's about providing that real-time care. For the speaker on stage, it's about feeling a connection. And of course, for the viewers, it's all about participating. It's this whole ecosystem approach that really is the secret sauce to making it all work.
But really, at the end of the day, the heart of this entire system comes down to the journey of one person, the viewer. The big question is, how do you take someone who's just kind of watching from the sidelines and turn them into an active, engaged part of the community?
And this really, really matters because the data on this is just crystal clear. Viewers who are actually engaged are 3 times more likely to take some kind of spiritual next step. So engagement, it isn't just a nice-to-have feature. It's absolutely central to the whole mission.
So that journey from passive to active, it starts with something super simple: instant feedback that doesn't get in the way. Think about it. A stream of reactions lets viewers express themselves right in the moment. They can show support, they can show agreement, all without having to type a single word or break the flow of what's happening.
Okay, so this whole journey is really built on 4 main pillars of engagement. Let's start with the first one, live chat. The best way to think about it is like the digital version of leaning over to the person next to you in the pew to share a quick thought. It's where that real-time communal conversation really comes to life. All right, the second pillar is a space that's dedicated entirely to prayer. And this is so important because it creates this really focused channel for people to share what's truly on their hearts. And they have a choice. They can share it publicly with everyone or send a private request straight to the ministry team. Number 3, there's a spot just for curiosity. You know how it is. A question about the sermon pops into your head. Well, here, viewers can submit it right then and there. Their thoughts get captured in that exact moment, so that little spark of curiosity doesn't just fizzle out and get forgotten.
And finally, we get to what might be the single most powerful feature of all, the Decisions tab. This is brilliant. It uses these dynamic forms that are linked directly to whatever the sermon topic is. This lets viewers act on a moment of inspiration right when it happens, whether that's making a first-time commitment or just asking for more info on something like baptism.
Okay, so while all of that is happening on the viewer's end, you've got this dedicated ministry team working hard behind the scenes. They're basically the mission control, using a special dashboard to manage and respond to every single one of those interactions.
And this dashboard gives them a live second-by-second look at what's actually connecting with people. You've got metrics like peak viewers, which can tell you the exact moment a story really grabbed everyone's attention, or average view duration, which gives you a really honest look at whether the content is keeping people hooked. It's basically like learning to read the digital body language of the entire congregation.
And having that team respond immediately, it's absolutely critical. And here's why. The research is pretty stark. That window for making a real, lasting connection is incredibly small. If there's no follow-up within 48 hours, a whopping 80% of those meaningful online decisions just fade away.
But the platform doesn't just connect the viewers to the ministry team. No, it also has this specialized view that's designed for one person in particular, the speaker on stage. It's all about bridging that huge gap between the pulpit and all those digital pews out there. Just try to picture this for a second. You're standing on stage, and you can look over at a screen that gives you the real-time pulse of your online audience. You're watching the viewer count climb, You see a live feed of hearts and prayer hands streaming by, and you can even see the topics of prayer requests as they come in. It's a direct feedback loop from people you can't even see.
And this is what flips the whole thing from a monologue into a real dialogue. Can you imagine the encouragement seeing a live update that says, "Sarah Johnson, first-time decision 2 minutes ago"? It opens the door for these incredibly powerful, unscripted moments that make those online viewers feel genuinely seen and heard.
But you know what? The engagement doesn't just stop when the live stream signs off. In fact, that's when a really sophisticated analysis tool kicks into gear. It's designed to take all that data from the service and turn it into a concrete, actionable plan for next time.
So here's how it works. The second the stream ends, an AI engine gets to work, and it analyzes everything. We're talking attendance numbers, reaction patterns, the sentiment in the chat, engagement rates, all of it. Then it spits out a comprehensive report, doing in just a few minutes what would probably take a human analyst hours and hours to put together.
And this final report, it's not just a big dump of data. Not at all. It's a strategic guide. It doesn't just tell you what happened, it actually suggests why it might have happened and gives you ranked, actionable steps you can take to improve. It'll highlight your big wins and even show you how you're doing compared to industry benchmarks. You know, this whole thing points to a really fascinating paradox. We tend to think of screens as these cold barriers, right? But what's been discovered is that for some people, that digital distance, it actually creates a kind of psychological safety. It can lead to a level of honesty and vulnerability that, let's be real, people might not feel comfortable showing in a big, crowded room.
And that kind of leaves us with one final big question to think about. As tools like this keep evolving, as we keep moving from just passive broadcasts to truly active participation, how is that going to ultimately reshape our very definition of community? I mean, what does it really mean to be together when we're all, technically, worlds apart?